Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Senna, and on this channel I post content relating to my life living abroad as an international student. I try to share informative content on the process that you need to go through to come abroad to study as well. So if that is something that you're interested in, or if that is a plan that you have for your future, then consider subscribing to this channel. Just click on the red subscribe button down below, and also click on the bell icon close to it so that you don't miss any new videos I upload. So recently someone left a comment on one of my videos asking if I could talk about accommodation options available in the UK for international students, and I thought that would be very informative for others to know as well. You know, if you're planning on coming to the UK, or if you already have admission to come study for September intake and you are thinking of your accommodation options, well, I think you should keep on watching these videos because I'm going to be sharing with you all the information that you need to know. So yeah, without talking in much more, let's get right into it. Okay guys, so as I've mentioned in previous videos, I am currently studying at the University of Brighton, which is in Brighton, but I don't stay in Brighton. I stay in the south of London and I commute to uni. But when I gained admission to my uni, I was given the option of getting accommodation on campus. I was guaranteed accommodation on campus if I responded to that email, but I didn't plan to stay on campus, so I rejected the offer. But then the email said that I could get accommodation on campus, or there were options of off-campus accommodation available, which had been verified by the university if I was interested in. So that option was provided as well. So I'm going to be talking about those two options and then other options that you can also get if you are considering if you are thinking of where you're going to stay when you come abroad to study, specifically in the UK, because that's where I am. So like I mentioned, there are two main options available to you. Basically, there's the on-campus accommodation and then there's the off-campus accommodation. So on-campus accommodation is one that is provided by the university. So like what we have in Ghana, like hostels that are on campus. If you're attending the University of Ghana or any other university for that matter, usually universities have like hostels on campus, isn't it? So that's the same thing here. You can be offered that option. And then the good thing about the advantages about staying on campus is that it is safe, guys. It's the safest option available to you because it's in a university, and there's security, 24/7 security on campus. It's not like something bad can happen to you anywhere, but it is safer compared to other option. And then another advantage of being on campus is that you don't have to worry about the cost of transportation, because the amenities that you need to use are right there in the university communities. Your lecture halls, library, the gym, cafeteria, stuff like that. They're just a walking distance from the on-campus accommodation options that you have available to you. So that's another advantage of being on campus. And then another advantage is that you get to meet people from your university community. You get to meet people who are senior, you get to meet your own mates and stuff like that. Like you get to be in the same place with them, you form connections, you form networks, which is really important if you're coming in as an international student, especially if you don't have family here, because then you get to form those friendship circles. And then that's where your connections really begin to grow. So which is not something that you really get if you're outside of the university community, if you get, because the culture in the UK is very different from back home. So it's a very great way for you to start building friendships and networks and things like that. So those are like three main advantages of getting accommodation on campus. The only downside to this is that it's more expensive compared to off-campus accommodation. So yes guys, that's the on-campus accommodation option. I would also like to mention that if you choose to go with on-campus, you have like two main types of rooms that are available to you. So you have like studio apartments, studio rooms, not apartments, like studio rooms, where you have like a room and then maybe a toilet and a bath. And then you have like a self-contained where you have your room, a toilet, and your bath, and then you have maybe your kitchen. So for the studio option, you have to share the kitchen maybe with other residents in the university, and then some of them are also catered for. Some of them are catered for, so you have meals, you know, served for, you know, lunch and dinner and stuff like that. And then there are options where you don't have, you know, you don't have that. So all these options comes with extra cost. You know, the more you get, the more you have to pay for. So yes, that's with the on-campus accommodation. And then there's off-campus accommodation via your university. So like I said from the beginning, my university gave me the option of, you know, off-campus accommodation that had been verified by them. So this is another safe option as well if you are thinking, if you don't want to stay on campus and you want to be maybe in the city or in the town where your university is located to experience the culture like really well, then that is an option that you can consider. Ones that have been verified by a university. This information would usually be on a university website, on, you know, maybe their accommodation tab or something like that. Just go to your university website, click on those, you know, links, and read more about it, what your university has to offer, because different universities have different ways of going about things, right? So just go on there and read about, you know, the off-campus accommodation and what you need to do to get one of those. The only thing you have to think about is the cost of transportation. So if you're staying off campus, then it means that you have to think of, you know, how you're going to get to campus to access the to, you know, go for lectures or access some of the amenities on campus. So that's another downside. Another thing that you can do about that is to consider getting a bicycle. If you don't mind riding one of those, you can get a bicycle, and then you can just, you know, that can easily take you to university or around the town where you are located. So yes, that's for the off-campus accommodation via your university. And then there's other off-campus accommodation options that you can get on your own via some websites that I'm going to be mentioning. So the thing about these options I'm going to be talking about is that they are not verified by your university or any person, so you really need to be careful. You need to do your checks, you need to do your due diligence before you make any financial commitments or before you sign any documents. And then some of these will also require that you provide a guarantor to guarantee that, you know, provide a guarantee like you provide for when you're accessing financial resources like loans or stuff like that from, you know, financial institutions. So you need to provide a guarantor, and if you don't have, you know, you don't really know people in the UK, then that's going to be an issue for you. So yes, that's the thing about this that's the thing about off-campus accommodation that is not through your university. So you can get one main website where you can get one of these is through Amber Students. Amber Students is a very good website where you can get student accommodation. They are located in like major cities in the UK, in most parts of the UK, and they are located close to university campuses, so it's, you know, just it's really easy for you to get accommodation. They show images of, you know, what's it's been advertised basically, and get to see what you're going in for. And most students use this option as well, so that's something that you can consider. Another website where you can get off-campus accommodation is via Facebook Marketplace. So yes, some agencies also advertise their accommodations via Facebook Marketplace, so you can go onto that site and look for accommodation options. Just make sure you do your checks like I've said from the beginning. And then there's also another website called Gumtree. So yes, Gumtree, just like Facebook Marketplace, is another website. All these websites are similar to, you know, Tonatom. You know, there's part of that site where you can rent accommodation when you're thinking of moving houses in Ghana. So Tonatom is a website in Ghana. I don't know if they are in other parts of Africa as well. So yes, they are very similar. So Gumtree is another website that you can consider, can access from back home. Just make sure you're doing your checks. If you have people in the UK, you can let them help you with this, because then it's be really useful, because sometimes when you're back home it's really hard to, you know, get the right information and things like that, because you don't know yet how things work in the new country that you're trying to go to. Do you get it? And other websites are flatmates.com and spareroom.com and zoopla.com. So I'm going to try to leave links to these websites in my description. This video is not sponsored. I'm just trying to share information with you. Make sure you're doing your checks, because most of these websites are not verified. Do your checks, do your due diligence, think about whether it is a safe option. My best advice would be for you to start off by using the on-campus accommodation options, so that when you come in and then you acclimatize to your new environment, you get familiar with the place, you make new friends, then you can consider, you know, moving into the wider community, you know, moving into the city, because then like now you are familiar with the place, like I've already said. So yeah, start with on-campus accommodation. If you do, it's a little expensive. At least you don't have to worry about cost of transportation. You know, your facilities are just available right before you, and then you can, you know, form friendships, you know, meet senior colleagues who have maybe done the course that you've already done, get tips from them for how to succeed on your course and things like that. So yes guys, those are the options available to you in terms of accommodation for international students in the UK. If there's anything that I didn't mention in this video, if you have any further questions, don't hesitate to leave it in the comment section below. If there are any videos that you think that there's any information that you want me to share, there's any content that you'd like me to create for you, don't hesitate to leave those in the comments section as well. I always read the comments and I just might do one of your video suggestions. So thank you so much for watching this video to this point. Kindly consider subscribing to the channel. Just click on the red subscribe button down below, and also don't forget to give the video a big thumbs up, share it with friends and colleagues who might find it informative in any way. And until my next time, it's a bye for now. Guys, can you believe that I started recording? I was talking, and this thing was the recorded. Anyways, no wala. Let's do it again.